The following contest is scheduled for one fall. On the way to the ring, from Sanford, North Carolina, Lita. And the opponent, from Washington, D.C., weighing in at 317 pounds, Batista!
He saw that one coming. His opponent telegraphed that one. I know you're always complaining about Randy Orton's ego, JR. But let's face it, Orton was the youngest world heavyweight champion of all time. I think he's earned the right to be a little arrogant.
I'm not taking anything away from Orton's accomplishments, King. But no one's got a higher opinion of him than Orton himself. Sometimes I wish he'd just shut his mouth and show us what he's got.
I don't know if his opponent has what it takes to kick out. So, how do you think this one's going to turn out, JR?
Honestly, King, I have absolutely no idea. Anything can happen here in the WWE.
But you've got to have a guess, right?
I might, but I'd rather keep it to myself if it's all the same to you, King.
I'm not sure I agree with what the crowd is chanting, JR, but I guess it's their right.
You're damn right it is. It comes from the price of admission.
He reversed it.
I think you got a selective memory there, Kingfish. I seem to remember Triple H and Ric Flair turning on Orton and knocking some of the cockiness out of him when they did it.
Well, if that's true, it's just a matter of jealousy. And I think that's pretty sad, coming from two men who have more than 25 world title reigns between them.
The game and Flair are no strangers to championship gold. But Orton won it younger than either one of them. And don't think he didn't let it go straight to his head either.
You always see the worst in people, JR. Why shouldn't Orton be proud of being the youngest world champion in WWE history?
What a phenomenon is the animal Batista. You talk about a force of nature, you're looking at him right there.
What a counter! Randy Orton's one of the most dangerous superstars in the WWE, JR. Ric Flair and Triple H taught him everything he knows.
They may have taught Orton everything he knows, King. I don't think they taught him everything they know. Orton may think he's got nothing left to learn, but he could find out the hard way here tonight that that's...
Whoops! There goes the referee!
Oh, man! And now there's no one to keep order in this matchup.
This has gone beyond just being a match chick.
The referee is down, and now there's no one to maintain order in this match.
Where do they find these referees, JR? They seem to be awfully fragile.
These fans love confidence in their superstar, and that's just what they're seeing from him here tonight.
Well, he can do this until the cows come home, but that's not going to win him the match.
This is a classic matchup, King. I'm so glad the WWE fans are getting the chance to see it.
Yeah, and I'm happy that I'm getting to see it too, JR. I just wish they'd pick up the pace a little.
Oh no, this is classic old school wrestling at its finest. You, of all people, should be able to appreciate that, King.
Wait a minute, JR. You're not trying to say that I'm old, are you?
Of course not, King. Although there was that rumor going around about your social security number was 1. Boy, when you look at these superstars, it really drives home the fact that Raw is the dominant brand of sports entertainment.
Oh, there's no doubt about that, JR. There's not a superstar on the SmackDown roster who could hold a candle to Raw's finest.
I wouldn't go that far, King.
Oh, no. What's he going to do here?
The Batista Bomb! My God, what an impact! Well, you can't ever accuse the WWE fans of being shy about saying what's on their minds.
You sure can. We could have a pinfall here, JR.
These superstars are going to put each other through wrestling hell tonight.
They've already got a pretty good start on that, JR.
They have indeed, King. I don't think there's an ounce of quit between them.
Yeah, that's where things get dangerous. If you're too proud to admit that it's not your night, you might wind up risking your career for a single match.
But at the same time, King, no one makes it up the ladder without pushing themselves to the very limit. It's a very fine line to walk. And there's the cover. There's the kick out. I thought that was it for sure.
It looks like they've slowed the match down a little. And I think that's some good strategy right there.
It certainly is. I'm sure they're well acquainted with the old expression, fools rush in.
Is that why you always seem to be in such a hurry, JR?
I think I've eaten a little too much good Oklahoma barbecue in my day, King, to hurry anyway.
I've been looking forward to this match all night, JR. I can't believe it's finally underway.
This has been a hotly anticipated contest, and as far as I'm concerned, it's living up to the hype.
No question about that, JR. The fans certainly seem to be into it, that's for sure.
And when it comes down to it, that's all that matters. I tell you, King, sometimes I get exhausted just watching these superstars compete.
I know what you mean, JR. I don't think most people...
And here's the pin! He was a split second away from a 3 count.
Wow! Listen to these fans, JR!
You can fool some of the people all of the time, and all the people some of the time, but there's no fooling the WWE fans at all.
I'd ask you who you want to win this matchup, JR, but it's been pretty obvious since the start of the show who you're pulling for.
I'm trying to remain as objective as I can, King. Quite frankly, I'd rather see a good competitive matchup than see a particular superstar win or lose this thing.
Oh, come on. Everyone knows you play favorites. You're always trying to kiss up to the fans by talking up whoever they're cheering for.
I've never been a kiss up in my life, King, which is more than I can say for some people. I call them like I see them, and I'm flattered that the WWE fans agree with me as often as they do.
I don't know.
He's got his opponent cornered in the turnbuckle. And look at those closed fist blows.
There's no finesse here, JR. He just tried to beat his opponent into unconsciousness. Listen to the crowd, JR. I think they've got something to say to these superstars.
And if they're smart, they'll listen. Remember, without these fans, these superstars are out of a job.
Did you ever think you'd be watching these superstars compete against each other here tonight, JR?
I had a feeling their paths were going to cross sooner or later, and I'm glad I'm here to see it.
Me too. It almost makes it worth having to sit next to you and...
Oh my! This is not what those ring ropes were meant to be used for.
Well, all's fair in love and war, JR. But after this, I don't think there's going to be a lot of loving in this superstar's future.
Oh my! Now that's what you call a compromising position.
That's enough to make you rethink your entire career, JR. I think we're going to find out just how much punishment the human body can withstand here tonight.
I think you're right, King. These superstars seem intent on taking each other to the ring.
I love that attitude, JR. Go big or go home.
Well, these superstars sure aren't going home until this match is settled once and for all. He went straight for the pin. No eyes on him.
Here's your winner, Batista